Hi, it's Danielle from the blog warmwithtime.com, and in today's video I want to share with you how to replace missing trim with Bondo. So replacing this missing trim for this 70-year-old home was difficult. It was not a trim we could just go to Lowe's and pick up, and we really wanted to recreate the same trim in the missing areas. That way everything would be cohesive in the living room. So let me share with you exactly how I did that. So the first thing we needed to do was remove any of the damaged trim from the door casing. So my husband used a coping saw and basically sawed off all the damaged trim so that we had a flush surface to be able to build the new trim upon. So the next thing I needed to do was take this silicone putty kit and create a reusable silicone mold of the trim that I'm trying to recreate. So for this kit, you basically take equal parts of both of the colored solutions, a little bit of the purple, a little bit of the white, and then you mix them together, sort of smush them in your hands until they create a medium toned purple color. You want it to be well mixed. This mixture sets up pretty quick, so you only have about 5 minutes to work with it. That should be plenty of time to go ahead and mix it up properly and then apply it to the piece that you're trying to mold. So in my case, I applied it all over the area where the trim was not damaged and created a mold of it. So I pushed it into all the details and made a pretty big section so I could use that to recreate a new trim piece. And then after 25 minutes, you can go ahead and remove it from the surface and you will have an exact replica of what it is you're trying to mold. So now it's actually time to create the actual trim piece that we're going to be fixing. So I just sprayed my mold with WD-40 just to kind of grease it up so that the Bondo that I'm going to use to build the trim and shape the trim doesn't stick to the actual mold itself. So I'm going to be using all-purpose Bondo to actually create the trim. I love using Bondo for a multitude of projects like this one because Bondo dries really quickly. I also really love that it dries exceptionally hard and almost as durable as wood. So to use Bondo, you just take a little bit of the gray mixture and mix it with a very small amount of the cream hardener. That's the blue product. And you basically mix it together and then apply it inside the trim mold. And then I just use painter's tape, just simply hold up the silicone mold in the Bondo just so things wouldn't slip and slide and be falling off the wall. I went a little overkill with the painter's tape, but I really wanted to make sure that the Bondo was getting pressed to the wall and was in the right place. And then after waiting about 20-25 minutes, I went ahead and removed the painter's tape and the silicone mold, and I was left with an exact replica of the trim that I'm missing. And then I just simply repeated that process over and over and over until I reached the floor. And this is what the trim looked like once I had built the whole thing with the Bondo. You can see it's not perfect, and that's where sanding comes in. So to really make this molding look legit, I needed to actually spend a good amount of time sanding it and smoothing out any of the Bondo places where I got a little sloppy, and also smooth out any of the lumps and bumps and places where the mold appliques met up and actually overlapped. So I'm just using a couple different types of sandpaper depending on how much grit I need. I used a 80 grit, a 120, and even a 600 grit just to really make it nice and smooth. And then this is what the moldings look like after I've painted them. You can see the top part of the door casings are the original molding, and then the bottom part is what I was working on actually replacing. I am so happy with how these trim pieces came out. Now we can actually finish up the room with painting and adding our shoe mold around the bottom of the baseboards and everything, and really complete the room. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.